We knew it was going to happen. We knew that shit was going to happen. Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, you got your boys, Kenny, Ryan, and Ryan. Listen, man.
You thought we were gone? You thought that was it?
You thought I was feeling you?
That was season one.
That was
season two.
This is season 2. We wanted to see how bad. We're like The Walking Dead, right? We go away. We go away for a while. Oh, that's the season finale. Psych. We're back. Yeah. Right? We've been gone for a while, man. We had a lot of stuff going on. We wanted to have extended holidays. We thought you guys deserve it. We thought you guys needed to miss us some more, right? We wanted you guys to care, right? So, our guys, what's going on? What's the latest?
Man, I'm just, I'm making a bet right now, just chilling,
You're a sick psychopath.
Listen, college basketball is in full swing, right, Kenny? Am I right?
That's because he doesn't have anything to bet on right now.
I have no comment because I don't want to even talk about sports betting because let me get this off my chest because this has been bothering me, right? Miami, I'm glad you guys made it because you guys almost made me look dumb after you guys had a great season in the beginning. Then you just fumbled the ball. Tua, he's not playing this week. Spoiler alert. Sorry, Ryan. But Elijah Moore, tell me this, bro. You played football for a while, right? You played in college, in the NFL, a few years under your belt.
Yeah.
Who the hell was you going to throw it to on the 5-yard line? Like at some point, you can't lateral anymore. You just have to do something with it. Run up the field. The object of the game is.
Kobe Myers was passing it back too.
Listen.
No, at least there's somebody back there for him.
Exactly. There was no. He just tossed it.
Chandler Jones.
like he ran. His foot was on. He was at the 2-yard line. He's like, oh shoot, I got to run up, and then he still tossed it back to nobody. Almost threw a pick, and then lose the game. Yes, all my fellow Jets better who took plus 3.5 or plus 4 like myself thought that was in the bag. Field goal. Oh my God, it's easy in the bag. That's probably the worst bad beat of all time. If not, it's top 5.
But that's a pretty bad beat.
It's bad. It's so bad right now.
I had a same game parlay with the Patriots. Who were they playing?
The Bills.
Patriots-Bills game, and everything hit. And like 7 things hit. Everything hit, and then the last drive, Devin Singletary gets -2 yards rushing, and he hits 29 yards total instead of 30 yards. And the line was 29.5. He had it. Everything was green.
It was
and
crazy.
Then he didn't have it.
It's crazy when you told me that. I was like, damn, that hurt. Like I thought mine was bad.
Did they change it?
Nope. Bro, you know what hurt me the worst about that? We both had 2 bad beats, right? You know what hurt me the worst about that though? Is at the end of the game, I saw the ref go like this. He did that. I was like, no safety. They went back. Oh man, the end of the Jets Dolphins game, 9-6. I'm like, okay. And then I didn't see it on DraftKings. I didn't see them updated. I'm like, no, please don't say it. Please just call again because it doesn't matter. Please just call again. It don't matter. Then there's a correction, 11-6. I was like, oh.
That's brutal.
That was
That's
awesome.
Brutal.
Anyway, that's I could say that for BK Best, but I wanted to get off my chest because I felt like I had too much hostility going into the episode because that's been on my chest all week. Anyway, let me touch on college basketball. Actually, let's hit on college football. I forgot we've been going so long. I forgot to hit on college football, right?
Yeah, I mean
So guys, by the way, college football happened. The bowl season was actually pretty good. It was a pretty good bowl season. Some good games, man. Like a couple memorable games. But the thing that's really important was to see the CFP. The playoffs, right? So we had the first game, which was 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago now, which was TCU versus Michigan. Coming into the game, I took TCU. I was like, okay, I like TCU. They were played plus 8.5. They played against Michigan. everybody was talking about Michigan, their run game. Da-da. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, Big Ten is not what you think it is, right? I want to say that. Cool. TCU goes in the game. It's a hell of a game. TCU came out the gate, and everybody was like, what is going on? So you think it's a blowout, and then slowly but surely, Michigan starts making it a game. Long story short, it comes down to the last play drive to see if Michigan can get the ball down to score, and TCU gets to stop, and then they end up winning with the upset. It was a lot of turnovers that game. I told everybody JJ needed to have a hell of a game in order for them to go to the championship, and he tried, right? He tried, but they really couldn't get the run game going, and that 3-3-5 it caused a lot of havoc. That a lot of people didn't think was going to happen, because what JJ say, hey man, I see that 3-3-5, man, we're going to run it down their throats or whatever the case may be. That didn't happen at all. So, do you have anything to say about that, Brian?
Oh, just Michigan choked. They were the better team.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that as an Ohio State fan.
No, I thought so as well. I thought they were a better team, but they just didn't show up. But it's hardball. That's what you expect at this point, right?
It kind of is. He has that chokiness, man. It took him forever to beat Ohio State. Like, I think it was last year was the first year he had beat him. Like, he just, big games, he melts.
You think it's over?
I think he's leaving.
You think he's gone?
I think he's going back. I think he's going back to
that investigation on him. Like, he's probably gonna be like, "Nah, I'm out, dipping."
The investigation. Talk more about that. I didn't hear about the investigation.
The NCAA is investigating Michigan for rules violations during COVID. That there was like this freeze on contacting kids or something, and he, I guess, was in contact with people. I don't know.
But apparently, he's also having issues like with the team. Like with the right?
No, he had issues before, but then once he came back and he talked to the AD, he took his pay cut. He gave more to the staff. He put some delegations off from him running the show. Pretty much, they're like, everything is good, right? But of course, you hear everything is good until they play into the game, the semifinals game. They lose, and it's like, oh no, everything's not good. he wants to go to a different team. Blah blah blah. Right? You hear all this noise.
I think he's going back. He's going back to the NFL. If someone has him,
I don't know, man.
He could
at this point, I think he should, because there's nothing else that he can do. He's not going to get it done. He's just not.
He's not. Yeah.
He's not going to get it done, right?
How long has he been at Michigan?
I think it's 7 year, right? 7 years.
I thought he left the 49ers like the year after they went to the Super Bowl, which was 2012.
So it could be longer. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure. It could be. You'll have to look that up. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that. I mean, if he's been, let's say, rounded down to 7 years, even though it might be 10, that's 7 years of like not being able to get it done.
Yeah, he beat Ohio State twice the last 2 years, right? Everybody's like, okay, well, you're close. Speaking of Ohio State, they played Georgia in the national championship game, pretty much, as we can call it, right?
I'm glad you said that, Kenny. I'm glad you said that.
That I thought. I would say this.
That was a good game.
Understand, knowing Ryan Day pretty well, he went deep for that game plan. Like, he did a lot of prayer. He did the same prayer Tom Brady did when they was playing against the Falcons. He did the same prayer, because that game plan, I have nothing bad to say about Ohio State. Like, they left it all out on the field. They took as many chances, and if it wasn't for Marvin Harrison Jr. getting hurt, where they had to rule him out with a concussion, it was over for Georgia. Because that man, if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't go number 1 overall next year, I don't know. Like, that'll probably be the first time a receiver goes number. He really changed the game by himself. Like, they could not do anything. A Georgia defense that everybody was like, man, it's supposed to be one of the top defenses, blah, 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 say Jalen Carter, blah, blah. It was Marvin Harrison Jr., who everybody else come along if you want to, but I'm going to run the show, right? And that's essentially what it was. CJ Stroud was like, listen, I'm going to find this man at all costs, and he's going to be open. And he was, right? Like, it took a late hit, right, which they took saying it wasn't targeted, but it was a pretty vicious hit, right? Late hit to take him out the game. There was no answer that Georgia had, none whatsoever, and it was very gutsy by Ryan Day and the coaching staff. That they just went out there and showed the team, like, listen, we believe in you guys. And I feel like the team started having that belief themselves, because the defense played lights out too. Which I didn't expect that at all. And the Georgia team, they showed they were resilient. They came back and ended up winning. And, taking that into the national championship, a buddy of mine, he was like, man, TCU plus 13.5, man, I'm going to take that. I was like, bro, he's like, man, I think that's the easy. I'm like, nah, bro. I was like, there's something weird about it. Why after the game that Georgia had, is it plus 13.5? Why is that TCU? Right? You would think it would be way closer. Right. But I'm like, there's something that's going to happen. And I think that was a wake-up call to Georgia, that Kirby said, listen, you guys thought you were good. You almost lost this game.
That was the first time all year they got smacked in the mouth.
Smacked in the mouth, for sure. And it's like, okay, let's see. And what we saw on Monday, it was not like...
That was a scrimmage.
It was a scrimmage, right?
That was A team versus B team.
Bro, it did not even look like they were in the same, like, it was like D1 versus D2, D3. Yeah. Like, it was bad.
Spring game. They just like
varsity versus
spring
JV.
Game. Yeah, like, it was very bad. I think that the score was ended up being 62-7, I believe, right? Was that right? 62, 63, 7?
I know
something.
They had 7 for sure.
Put it this way: the game was so bad that there's so many memes that were on social media talking about, they shouldn't have been in, or like TCU fans leaving, and it was so many different stuff that it was just so funny. And I pretty much text my boy, and I was like, "Bro, see?" He said, "Damn it, bro! They beat the dog shit." I said, "I told you, bro."
Yeah.
It's so that's college football, man. It's a great It was a great end to the year. Georgia doubled up. Everybody's like, "It's Kirby." I like this though. Nick Saban was on the with the panel. They asked, "Man, Georgia is Kirby Smart the best coach in football right now? Is he the standard to beat?" And y'all should have saw Nick Saban's face. He literally was like, what the fuck is these guys talking about? Like, what? It's like he's the standard. Georgia is the standard right now, and Kirby Smart is the top coach in college football player. And Nick Saban was like, "What the fuck? Do you not know who I'm right here?" It was hilarious. I thought it was so funny. But I thought already that Alabama did enough to be in the game. If you saw how they played against Kansas State, who TCU struggled against, they beat the dog water out of Kansas State.
Real quick on that game, on the Ohio State and Georgia game, I just want to point out that Ohio State probably, you could say, lost because they had a player that decided to sit out because he wanted to play in the NFL and wanted to get ready for the NFL. Had they had the depth at wide receiver in Jigba Smith, they might not have missed Harrison. You know what I mean? Like, when he goes out, they still have Njigba Smith.
No, I said that. I said that beforehand when we talked. I said, if Njigba Smith plays, it's over because you don't have enough at the corner position to lock down both of them. And both of them are top tier talents.
Well, they didn't have enough to lock down even one.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
They had to knock him out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it is. And friend, I love you. That's my guy. He the secondary coach there. That's my guy. But I said they're the up top boys right now. They're going up top every time. And you know what's even funnier? During the game versus TCU, they said that the Georgia players was like, "Man, fuck wrong with these boys? They ain't got no Marvin Harrison Jr. over there. Fuck wrong with them." I thought that was hilarious. And that's the last thing I want to say. So, but that's what I got for college football.
Did you hear there was like an article, it was a rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, but that Greg Williams is the one that like gave the pregame speech to Georgia before that Ohio State game? I'm just saying.
Bro, stop it. Stop. We're not doing that. We're not doing
Bounty
that.
Gate out there, huh?
Bounty Gate. Here we go.
$1,000, you knock him out.
I'm telling you. College basketball.
Just say you heard it here first.
College basketball has been madness. Teams have been losing left and right. UConn, Texas, Baylor, like Purdue. Like the Big 12 has been just like, the Big 12 is the SEC of basketball. The Big 12 of basketball is the SEC of football. it's so many great teams in the Big 12, right? That just like loaded is hard, right? The Big 10 has some decent teams. They're kind of down this year. SEC is another conference that's kind of has a lot of teams with Alabama, Arkansas, all those teams down there. Tennessee, right? Kentucky looks like complete dog water, right? But it's a few conferences that one of those three conferences are going to have the national champion. I think. But yeah, the college basketball is back and forth. It's very hard at this point. If you're looking at betting on teams, bet whoever's at home. Just for some reason, whoever's at home, and if you like the underdog, if you like the favorite, take them at halftime, because obviously these guys don't know how to finish. They'll come out hard first half, big points. You're like, oh man, I'm good. Second half, disappear. That's all I have to say on college basketball. Brian, you got something?
Yeah, just real quick. I had Nevada last night plus 13.5 to round out my 14 pick parlay. I had the first three done. Like you said, I let it ride. Dude, they were down by 22 at one point, and I was like sweating it. I was like, come on, And then down the stretch, San Diego State, like you said, it's like they took the foot off their gas. They didn't know how to finish the game. They made it at one point, I think, like an 8-point game. I think at the end it was like 10. But so I ended up winning my 4-pick parlay. But like, I don't know, these teams, they just aren't finishing games out. It's just, I don't know. Is that like because they're young? They're like 18, 19-year-old kids that never experienced any adversity yet in life. And I mean, because I feel like if it was a more senior team, if you got some juniors and seniors there, they're more likely to finish those games out a little stronger.
Yeah, I just frankly don't think the kids care enough, to be honest with you. They don't have enough grit. I don't know any team that's really gritty enough to get it done. I think the only team right now that's really gritty enough, I would say, would be a Tennessee team. Because they're stacked. They're very loaded. They're probably 10 or 11 deep. A Purdue team, I've seen them big, because I'm not gonna say color, but certain demographics are more focused at times, right? Or more fundamentally sound. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, Kenny, that's kind of controversial, but it's true.
We kiss.
So I'm gonna say a team like that. And then Kansas, of course, right? Kansas is always, they coach well with Bill Self, and they have the proper mixture of talent to get things done. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Jeez.
Yeah, you wild tonight. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got.
Oh shoot, it's me. See, I'm out of
okay,
sorts.
Yeah, I can say something about MLB. Carrera has went through 3 different teams. He has a broken leg or something like that people are worried about.
He broke his leg like 6 years ago or something like that.
And somehow, even though he's been playing this well for the last 5 years, people are like, oh my gosh, that's something to look for, because, Mets, even though Giants just said, guess what? We saw something in his leg. You guys going to sign him and say, oh man, guess what? We see something about his leg. Like, duh.
It's crazy.
And then now he's back with the Twins, who he...
Is this just a way to drive price down?
No, it's just teams are worried about the prognosis of, like, they're worried that as he ages, that injury will come back to haunt him. And I think he's 28 or something like that now, or something.
Yeah.
Like Todd
Gurley. He's about to be 29.
Yeah, they just think that, like, long term it's going to be an issue. Maybe not immediate, like 3-4 years, but they're giving out like 10-year deals to him. So the Twins got him for, I think, 6 years, $200 million or something like that. It ended up being an AAV of like $33 million a year, whatever the math is. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah. So third team, like Kenny said, which is crazy. Also, the Red Sox extended Rafael Devers, which I was happy with, but surprised.
That's a lot of money too.
Yeah,
for
they
them,
paid $330 million for 11 years.
Yeah, something like that.
He's well worth it. So he's basically their David Ortiz now. He's gonna be that guy.
I never heard of him, so I was unfamiliar. I was looking forward to you talk a little bit about him, because I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a defensive third baseman at all.
Yeah,
he's a very good left-handed bat, and left-handed bats play well in Fenway, because You got the Green Monster going off opposite field, so it's a shorter wall, or it's a taller wall, but it's shorter field. So they can slap it opposite field off the wall a lot easier. So they get a lot of doubles, and then when they pull the ball, easy home runs down the right field. So
what happens if it hits the wall? Is it automatic double?
It's not an automatic double. It's just
but most
in
of the
play.
time,
it's in play.
Because when it hits that wall, you gotta wait for it to come down. At that
what if
point,
if it hits the wall and comes down, you catch it? It's
it's just it's just in play.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So it's like as if it hit the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. You just have to wait.
Yeah. So it's an advantage, but at the same time, you have the advantage when you're the away team. So, I mean, yeah. So they did that, but then the Red Sox shortstop, I guess he is now, Trevor Story. He had his UCL repaired, which usually is Tommy John, but this is only a repair. They're not like reconstructing it, so it's a shorter time frame. But he's still expected to miss maybe like half a year.
What's the difference?
Basically, if you have Tommy John, they're making a completely new ligament. With what he had, the procedure that Story had is they just repaired the existing ligament in the elbow. So that's like the most I know about it. Like that's what
My bad, Brian. I'm not a doctor.
Neither is Brian, apparently.
Listen, I'm saying it's baseball. I thought he would know the difference, right?
You don't know.
Okay, my bad. All right, I'll be quiet.
Everything with confidence.
He did. I definitely was like, okay, cadaver compared to this is regular body. Okay, cool.
Cadaver.
Let's see. I don't think that there's really much. I mean, I don't know what happened before. Had we already talked about Bogarts getting a deal with?
No, we didn't talk about that.
Where'd he go?
Oh my goodness.
I forgot about him already.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so much we didn't cover on that. Like, it's so much going on in baseball.
Oh, he went to the Padres, right?
I'm not sure. I'm expecting you to know. You're supposed to have 8 weeks of memory in that brain of yours. Okay, you got 8 gigs up there. You gotta have some memory up there now.
Let's say yes.
So yeah, did you see? What do you see right now, Ryan?
Yeah. They call him the X-Man.
Exactly. Yeah, he went to the Padres.
This is Wikipedia says he's.
He got 10 years, which is surprising, given that people don't really revere him as a very good defensive shortstop, and also with him going to the Padres, that means that Tatis Jr. is going to move to outfield, so that Xander can play short. Then they got Machado at third. That team, by the way, is loaded. Both the Padres and the Mets are paying out their ass right now for people. So those two teams you got to watch out for in the NL this year, as well as the Dodgers are still going to be good. But just a quick preview.
But is Tatis, does he like that? Does he like playing outfield?
I don't.
Or they don't really care because
he got paid,
messed,
bro.
He got paid and he messed up anyway. So it's like, bro, just shut your ass up and just do what we tell you.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah.
Brian, I have a baseball question for you.
Oh boy.
This is something I saw. It was someone made this suggestion because like currently there's like batting rotations, right? On average, during a game, players get typically like 4 at bats. What would your thought be of saying each starting player, gets 4 at bats, and the coach gets to decide when those players get their at bats? For example, like if there's 3 on, you could put your best hitter out there because it would incentivize more scoring because you could put your best hitter whenever you have like 3 on and like be more strategic about choosing your batting order. But you could only let them get a certain amount of at bats per game. So you have to be strategic on when you use them.
No.
Why not? Because it's different?
It's just ridiculous.
Why?
That's just ridiculous. You're going to change the entire sport.
And it's over. It's like that's like basketball at the point.
No, I mean I like the idea. Like,
okay, well, what happens if you want to put a guy in for defense? Does that player then get 4 new at bats?
No, they would get you would use if the other player that they're replacing already used 2 at bats, you'd replace it. They don't.
So what happens if both teams have used up all their at bats and they're tied?
Then they go back to 4 at bats.
So they start over again.
Oh my god! Yeah. Then they play another game.
No, they don't.
You want to talk about a game?
They don't have to use all 4, but you can then start using your better at bat players. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand it.
It doesn't make sense.
It's just ridiculous. First of all, there's 27 outs in baseball, so therefore every player would get 3 at bats.
Okay, so then 3 at bats.
But even so, like, would you be able to have a guy bat 3 times in a row?
You could, because he just uses 3.
I mean, obviously, if they're on base, I mean, unless you have like a
you could have him hit, then put somebody in for a pitch hit for him.
I don't think strategically you would do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're I don't know what managers do nowadays, so
analytics.
Yeah. You would that would be the most drastic change to a sport ever, to any sport.
Yeah, it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a drastic change. I'm just saying it would add an element of strategy and potentially incentivize more scoring, which the sport would need for because they don't allow like people to go on steroids. I'd watch if these guys were juiced up.
They still he said they don't let you go on steroids, so it's not fun to watch anymore.
Run is way up right now.
Yeah, I would say the home runs are it's not even no defense playing right now.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I want to see.
I want to see more.
Has been up. Scoring is up.
Well, not enough.
Scoring is not the issue. The issue is the game takes 4 hours to play. And you want to make it more complicated so it takes even longer to play.
That's not more complicated.
Yes, it is, because then you got these managers over there hemming and on. Who's up next?
No, you'd have to
I don't know, because
pick it out of a hat. Pick it out of a hat.
Why,
dude,
why would you have to make that decision beforehand? You just said I could pick and choose whenever I want to put somebody
Exactly.
in.
That's what I'm saying. They would make that decision, but they'd only get a set amount of time, kind of like a shot clock. Or like a play, because here's
3, 2,
don't tell me
1.
These guys are not like going out of the box, taking a couple swings, and being like, "Oh, let me get a minute," and then like these guys are taking forever.
They're taking that out of the game because they're implementing a pitch clock this year.
See, look, they're already implementing it. They're changing the game drastically.
That's not drastically changing the game. That's just making it faster. No. That's the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard of.
It's not the most ridiculous.
That would be like them just making football flag football.
Oh, they are doing that.
That's yeah, and that is what they're doing. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
What about NHL, man?
Jesus Christ.
Because right now Ryan's pulling things out of his ass right now. He's like,
I'm just saying.
What if you get 40 at bats?
That's like,
and you just home run derby it.
That's like them taking kickoff out of football. Or taking the run up to kickoff out of football.
No, it's not. That's such a small thing. Because actually, if you look at it, teams have figured out how to kick the ball just short of the end zone to make the kickoff still happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the run up and all that and the shorter distance has not been impacted. No, that's just the Patriots having a retarded friggin' special teams coach. Who, if he isn't fired by the end of the week, I'm just going to lose my mind. But
all right, go ahead.
Yeah, you get him fired up.
Yeah, I apologize for saying retarded. Okay, but he is. There's something wrong with him.
Just stop saying it. Go to the next topic.
I said NHL, and you carried on.
Yeah. He had to do it. Just flip the switch.
It's my fault.
Yeah, it's Ryan's fault. He just flicked the switch in my brain. So now I'm just acting all barbaric. Okay, I'm not on Kenny's level over here saying, of a certain color, kind of things, but
oh my gosh,
we're still waiting for NHL.
Yeah, we stand for NHL. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. All right, real quick, we'll just do NHL.
Real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Dude, the Boston Bruins are by far the best team in NHL. I was severely wrong about them. I
see what 3 weeks do.
I'm telling you, man. They're at
a believer.
A believer. I believe.
Listen,
you sound like a Giants fan right
now. No. They're at 68 points. The next highest is 57 points. They have an 11-point lead on everybody. Everybody.
Everybody. That sounds like somebody talking from a different culture.
Well, I heard it in a song. I don't know.
He didn't go to Purdue.
Oh. Well, if he did, he didn't play basketball. But
oh my gosh, y'all too funny.
Listen, the Lightning are back in it. They're at 51 points. They're in third in their division. They're, like I said, they're going to bounce back. I believe that's Kenny's pick, right? For the cup.
Yeah, it's crazy. I bet it on them, right?
One.
And I was so mad I was losing, so I took my money out and I tried to bet again. I lost it, so I gotta go put it back.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Anyway,
you took that off? Oh,
yeah, I did.
Man, you shouldn't have.
Yeah, too easy.
Well, anyways, Dallas Stars have been turning it up lately, which I was surprised by. They're a hot team right now. The Vegas Knights, in my opinion, they've kind of fallen off. They've gotten like very lackluster to watch. Man, maybe it's because I've had a couple games on them. I don't know, and they've disappointed. But
maybe because I bet on them and they didn't show up, so now they suck.
The Kings, the LA Kings, they look real good right now. And if you're facing them anytime soon, watch out. I feel like they're very good defensively. They skate fast and they know how to draw penalties. They have they do some like little things to incite other teams to pick fights with them and stuff.
A lot of nuances in their game.
Yeah, like they got like the old head type thinking, like
put him on a low post, elbow to the stomach. He hit me. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And then another team I wanted to highlight was the New Jersey Devils have been sliding. They were very close to the Bruins for a while as one of the top teams in the East, and they are sliding back. They're still in the playoff picture, but hopefully nobody put any big money on them when I did my playoff picture before. But I feel like they potentially could slide out of the playoffs if they continue on this trend. And then, that's basically it. Ovechkin is second in goals. I don't know if we covered that yet because, like I said, it's been like 3 weeks. He's second all time to the great one, Wayne Gretzky. That's pretty much
Never going to catch him, though. Not going to catch Gretzky, though. You think he can?
He might. He has to play. If he plays 2 more seasons playing at the level he's playing at now, he will.
Okay. I think he's goated.
He's only about 80 goals away. Maybe 85, something like that. Somewhere in that range. So if he does 40 goals a year, even 35 a year, and finishes this year, he'll pass him.
Okay.
In 2 years.
Yeah. NFL.
Okay. Before I do NFL, I just want to throw out one more stat. 2019 MLB had 23,000 runs scored. 2021, we'll skip 2020 because that was COVID. 2021 they had 22,000, and 2022 they had 20,000. So they're just actually scoring less runs every.
I believe
year
I said home runs.
I
believe I said home runs.
It does scoring.
Oh, okay. But you said I want to see more home runs.
Okay.
Since I said the home run ball is up.
Is it?
Yes. What they're doing is they're scoring more home runs, striking out more, so less people are getting on base, and it's actually driving the run total down a little bit.
That sounds like a boring game to watch.
Yeah, because it's all about launch angle right now. Instead of just having a nice even swing, they're just trying to crank it out of the yard every single time. So they're either connecting with it and hitting it out because they're all pretty strong, or
because they're all not on juice. I need people.
Ryan, you started it. He was chilling. And then you went back and poked the bear. Right?
Hey, I just need some more scoring in that sport, and then maybe I'll watch. If it gets over 25,000, I'll watch.
Okay.
Then following season. Hey, so the NFL season has been going on for 3 weeks, and we missed the playoff push. We missed all the drama, and I'd be remiss if we didn't miss the most important thing ever is the Bills safety 3 weeks ago or last week, right? 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it was 2 weeks ago. It was week 17.
17. Yep.
The Bills played the Bengals. Bengals went down, scored a touchdown. The Bills went down, scored a field goal. The Bengals had the ball again. T. Higgins catches a 13-yard pass, gets popped at the line of scrimmage or near the line of scrimmage or whatever, the first down marker, and Damar Hamlin gets up, their safety, the Bills safety, and then falls down, and the game stops. It was, I mean, I was watching live. It was like one of the craziest things I've ever seen. They kept going to commercial break, so we knew like
something's going on.
That's no bueno. So he had to get resuscitated. They were going to get him on the ambulance. They had his heart. Apparently, the reports are saying that he got hit at the exact time where like his heart beat.
Yep,
his heart was beating, and it's like a freak thing that like is 1 in a bajillion chance. One of the craziest things we've seen, like while I've been watching football, they had to resuscitate him on the field. So like I think that was like the major factor. Like if he would have went in the ambulance and got pulled away, and then and they had to like resuscitate him in the ambulance, but like all the players saw that this guy was getting resuscitated, like so they're all scarred.
The fans, it was nothing they could do, right? Like everybody is saying it, and I know the NFL said, "Oh, we never said that," blah blah blah, but the NFL, the way they conduct business is normally like, all right, cool, let's keep it pushing. They thought it was something simple until they started hearing more about it, right? But like that was crazy. I've never even heard of that happening, right? Like, and it's one of those things that if it's not the NFL, right, and you're in this another situation, high school or college, it probably doesn't make it out from there, right?
Yeah.
Just because the response time, and you don't have the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So, and you don't have the same high level professionals in high school, right, as you do in college, and then so forth in the NFL, right? So it's kind of like one of those things that it was just crazy to see. So
shout out to the medical professionals like at the game, like
for sure.
They literally saved this guy's life. He had to get resuscitated again when they got to the hospital, which is pretty nuts too. So. Just so that we can close that part out, he was released from the hospital. I think. Well, he was on a ventilator. He was sedated. They had a breathing tube down he was not breathing on his own. By Friday, he was breathing on his own. They woke him up. He was up. He was alert. And then he got released from the hospital. I think yesterday from the Cincinnati hospital, or yesterday the day before. Transferred to a Buffalo hospital, and then was released from a Buffalo hospital today to do at-home care. So he still has a bunch of rehab and so he's got like medical. The craziest thing that I saw was when I was scrolling through Twitter because I was trying to find out what was going on like immediately.
Yeah.
Of course, you get them trolls on the internet, so like you had to deal with a bunch of that. But someone had posted his toy drive that he had in like 2020. And when I had first clicked on it, it was like 700 donations and it was at like $12,000. Every time I refresh, that thing's over $8 million right now. People donating to that. So that was really cool to see. But so he's all right now. And I want to like cover that. Like that is the most important thing. But I also want to talk about like, there's a lot of drama about the NFL's decision-making process that night to whether or not to continue the game. There were reports by Fox or ESPN or whatever network was covering. I think it was ESPN because it was Monday Night Football, right? So as ESPN reported that the NFL said, you're going to get 5 minutes to warm up and then you're going to get your ass back out there to play the game. And then that got reported, or the NFL's debunking that, saying like that didn't happen. We didn't say 5 minutes. So there's a whole he said, she said. ESPN's refusing to pull their report, saying that like no, they were told them they had every intention to play that game that night.
It's crazy. If it wasn't for Zach Taylor and McDermott coming out there, that's his last name, right? It's McDermott, right? Yeah, Sean McDermott. Yeah, for them coming out there, and because Zach Taylor gave a little like piece of like what they were talking about, and he said when he came to them, the first thing McDermott said was, "Hey man, I need to go be with Damar. Like I got to go be with Damar." And Zach was like, all right, too easy. He's like, all right, cool, let's take our teams in. Like, it was nothing else to it. So I think at that point in time, the NFL probably tried to control that fire and like, all right, cool. The guys are not playing, go from there, right? And I took my hat off to Sean McDermott if doing that, because it shows you the character of him, right? Like that he cares about his players as like human beings and not just like, oh yeah, cool, we're out here to play the game, keep it rolling. Because some coaches are not like that, man. Some guys are just, you're not players coach, and it showed a lot about him. And I think the whole team, how they kind of like battled around. And I know you're going to go and talk about the Bills game, so I won't hit on that. But I think it's one of those things that in the time that we're in today, you need more compassion and people to care. And yes, you have the trolls still saying crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Things going on, people treating certain things. But it was good. It's cool to see like how the football community and most of the world came together and was like, all right, man, let's support him, right? Somebody that nobody even know about, right? Yeah. Nobody even talked about him before, right? And then seeing like let's support and kind of like put face to that. So hopefully that same type of compassion continues and people just care more about the human being. But no, it was definitely cool to see though.
Yeah. The crazy thing, I'll let you cover whatever you want to say about that, Brian. But the craziest thing is Skip Bayless got in trouble for some of his tweets. And in his defense, all he was doing was he was too soon talking about the repercussions of this game, because this was probably one of the most important games of the playoff seedings, aside from like the Packers and like the NFC, that last playoff spot in the NFC. But this like basically decided the number one seed. That game was going to help decide it. And the NFL had a huge decision to make, and they ultimately decided to make it a no contest game, which I think is, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done in that circumstances. I would have probably had them play the game the following night or the Wednesday.
Them guys was going to play that game.
I know.
Was it?
And I would have made it up to, and who knows if that discussion happened. They asked the players, like, will you play this game Tuesday or Wednesday? And they were like, nah, we're good. And if that's the case, then it's the Bills' decision, because I think the Bills got cheated out of this, and the winners of this happening to Damar is the Chiefs. All they had to do was win their last game, and boom, they locked up number one seed and home field throughout. I mean, worst case, if they play the Bills, they have to play at a neutral site. That's what ultimately ended up happening. But like the Bills went from controlling their destiny, just winning those last two games, they're the number one seed, to now the Chiefs control destiny by winning that last game, and they control their own destiny, and they won the number one seed.
I don't think really, like, I think that's important, but I think at the end of the day, this gave them an extra boost, right? This just gave them an extra boost, something else to play for. So yeah, they're probably a little bit upset about that, but I think that it's going to make them better in a sense, because they have a bigger purpose, like why they want to go out there and win. Like whether they do win the Super Bowl or not, I don't know, because they still have, things that they got to fix on defense. But I don't think it's the biggest deal as people are making it. Like, yes, I know you don't get to choose your destiny. I get it. But if you're going to win, you're going to win, right? Like, that's kind of my thought process. And no matter where you go, like, I understand home field advantage plays certain parts, but if you're the best team, you're just going to win, man. Like, the Bengals went to Arrowhead last year. Nobody thought the Bengals was going to win. They came there and they pulled out and did what they had to do. So if you're the best team, that really kind of like water on the bridge at the end of the day for me.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing to that is, historically speaking, a team with a first round bye wins the Super Bowl 80% of the time. So, I mean, the percentage is there to say that first round bye means something. But besides that, obviously we're very happy that Hamlin's good. Hopefully maybe one day he'll be able to play football again. I'm hoping. I haven't heard anything that says that he can't, but of course he's probably got a long road ahead of him. And I will say that people getting mad at the NFL for probably saying, like, you guys have to warm up and play this game. You shouldn't be mad at the NFL. This is unprecedented. It's never happened before. For the NFL to stop a game and not play it. The NFL has always continued on, no matter what the injury was.
And you also got to remember the people that are making that decision are not there.
Right.
Like they had to rely on the coaches to be like, no, you don't know what these players saw.
Yeah.
And they're not going to play this game. Like they're in New York watching on TV. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And Bill Belichick spoke about when he was with the Lions back early, I think it was like the late 70s. I guess a guy collapsed on the field in a similar fashion and had to be resuscitated on the field. And the game was delayed for like an hour, but they still played on. So, I mean, I'm not saying it was the wrong thing to do to cancel the game. Not at all. But what I'm saying is you can't be upset with the NFL because they've never canceled before. They've always just, it sucks. Guys get hurt. They get carted off and the game continues. That's just always how it's been.
Also, the commissioner during like 9/11, the 9/11 season that during the 2001 season, they pushed the start of the season back a week and then took it and like pushed all the playoff games and everything. Yeah. But I can't remember who the commissioner was at the time, but he says like one of his major regrets was not canceling football that weekend and like still having them play. So like I'm just saying that that plays into it as well. Like pass.
Yeah.
But hey, let's turn this on a little high note.
Yeah, let's do it.
Both teams still ended up with a bye week. Chiefs are not playing anyone this week, and the Bills get to play the Miami Dolphins.
Bye. With Skylar Thompson, please.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if there's any medical doctors that are going to listen to this, but do not let Tua ever touch the football field again. They've at least made the decision not to let him play this year. So he's done. He's not playing this week. If they somehow beat the Bills, I don't know what health is more important than wanting to play football.
Something's wrong with this helmet. They need to get his helmet checked.
Really?
Like seriously. No, for real. Because at this point in time, he's either doesn't have the proper air in there, or the helmet does not fit properly to his head. There's no reason why he has this many concussions in one season.
I mean, some guys are more prone to them than others.
I get that. But majority. But Wes Walker had 8 over his career. Tua's had 3 or 4 this season.
Yeah. Like
he had one, came back next week, gets another one. Goes away for a couple weeks, come back, gets another one. Like, whoa, something's going on. Something I'm saying is something more than, oh yeah, he's just got a concussion again. He's a scramble brain or whatever you want to say, right? It's more to that. It's something with the helmet or the equipment that he's using that's forcing him to have that. Or the whole time he's the NFL concussion protocol is just not good. Because if he's passing this and he's still having concussion over and over again, that must mean that the concussion protocol is complete bullshit.
Well, he finished that Packers game.
You know what I mean?
The only reason he got into concussion protocol was because he couldn't recall plays during film study, and they sent him to get tested.
Yeah.
So he went into concussion protocol, not during a game, after the fact. And then has been in concussion protocol for the last 2 weeks.
Sounds like an issue to me.
This is his 3rd week. Yeah, that is 100% issue.
There's also several times where you've seen a guy get completely lit up, and he's staggering, and somehow he passes that protocol, and he's back in the game. Like, yeah, I want to see. As a fan, I want to see the best players playing. But if you truly are concerned about concussions, then you need to fix the protocols.
Yeah,
because I don't think they're working.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the playoff matchups because I want to get your guys' opinion on them, and maybe we can give our Super Bowl matchup prediction, our hopes and dreams. But just a couple anecdotes I want to hit really quick. I know last year we waited till the end of the season to cover all the coach firings and everything like that, but Sean Payton is going to be a hot commodity. The Texans and the Cardinals are already reached permission from the Saints to interview him for.
I thought the Broncos too.
Maybe the Broncos previously as well. But I think I saw a report that says that Sean Payton likes Kyler Murray. So Cliff Kingsbury has been fired. The Lions, I think, let go of their one of their coordinators. Matt LaFleur got released from the Jets. Frank Wright is no longer on the Colts. We knew that, but someone else got fired too. What's the big name, Brian, that got
Lovie
fired?
Smith. Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith, yeah.
I like how he went out though. He said, "Y'all gonna? I know they're gonna fire me. Fuck it. We ain't getting the first. We're not getting the first pick. We're gonna get this dub."
Yeah. I can't believe they fired him. He didn't deserve to be fired. That team was destined to be terrible.
Exactly.
He's a good coach. So
yeah. And another name that you might
want me to tell the real reason why he got fired? I was playing that.
Does that have something to do with the owner?
No, I'm done.
Another the Titans fired their offensive coordinator Todd Downing, and Sean McVay might be on the move. That's an interesting name to see. He is, he's deciding on his future with the Rams, so that'll be interesting.
My question to you, Ryan: how do you get rid of Sean McVay after he just won the Super Bowl?
It's got it. Yeah, I mean that's pretty jacked up to let this guy. I mean, he just won the Super Bowl. He's allowed you. He's like that would be like the most ideal thing for him. Like build a team with a bunch of veteran guys, trade all away your first round picks, win your Super Bowl, and then be like, all right, I'm gonna go start somewhere else on another team. Like bite me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. So that'll be interesting.
I heard a rumor that he might be looking at being the next Tony Romo. And
in the booth,
getting into the booth.
He might be. He's a smart guy.
First of all, if he did that, he would have a crazy payday. Because Tony Romo, he's making his bag and he sounds good, but McVay is a pretty boy, right? Like he looks better to fit the role, and I can only imagine how he would talk if he was in.
And his memory, like
crazy.
He is a
don't pretend like Tony Romo's some ugly guy. I mean, he's a decent looking guy too. I think he's all right.
Oh, I'm comparing him to McVay.
Yeah, they're both young.
All right.
Whatever.
All right.
Wide receivers that are probably going to be on the move. Brandon Cooks already came out and said he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild with the Texans. Well, he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. Now, whether or not that means he wants to be with the Texans or not, but I think that's code for I don't want to be with the Texans. And another receiver, another receiver you're probably going to see on the move this year is probably DeAndre Hopkins. That's a name that you're probably going to hear out there a lot. We'll see where he goes. That'll be interesting.
Oh, the Patriot rumors have already started.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Packers.
Yeah. Roquan Smith signed a 5-year, $100 million deal. So the Baltimore Ravens signed him. He made their defense he completely turned around. You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of when the Steelers were already good, but like getting a play remember when they traded for Minka Fitzpatrick? He just it was a light switch. It was just like, oh, they're way better now.
Or the Bears when they first got Khalil Mack?
Yeah.
Oh. It was like, oh man, this is what they needed. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so here's the playoff matchups. So I'll just go through the seeding and then we'll talk about the playoff matchups. So the 1 seed, AFC first, 1 seed with the bye week, Chiefs. They will have home field advantage throughout. If they play the Bills, who are the number 2 seed in the AFC Championship game, it will go down to a neutral site, which I think I heard was maybe Indianapolis
or Las Vegas
or Vegas.
No, come on.
They're gonna do
should
some
make them play
site.
In like Pittsburgh. Like
they're gonna do a dome. You know,
it's gonna be
why are they gonna do a dome? Both those teams are outdoor teams. I would not want to put it in a dome.
Yeah, they need people to show up
no matter what.
If they did it in Vegas, they would make a killing.
Anyways, the 3 seed is the Cincinnati Bengals, who are red hot right now, especially offensively. The number 4 seed is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love them. The 5 seed, who is playing really good right now, is the Chargers.
The who?
The Los Angeles Chargers.
The who? Yes, sir.
They got their left tackle potentially back.
Yes, sir.
His 21-day window is opened up, Slater.
Yes, sir.
Bosa's back.
The Ravens are the 6th seed, And then the Miami Dolphins are the 7th seed. That was a disappointment to watch.
Let's just not talk about the Bills and the Dolphins.
Can we just go ahead and say it real quick? The 7 seeds in both leagues suck this year. I just want to point out that expanding the playoffs, in my opinion, has done nothing.
Who's the 7th seed in NFC?
Seahawks.
Oh no, they don't suck. They don't suck. Let's talk AFC real quick before we go to NFC. We're not going to talk about the Bills and the Dolphins because they suck. That game is over. We know the Bills are going to win.
Over, yeah. So the Bills are going to win that game. Cincinnati and the Ravens, they get to play for a third time.
I don't even think Lamar's playing.
I don't think Lamar's playing either.
No. Yeah. So I mean, it's over.
His issue. Do you think the issue is really that bad, or it's more so of the check? He's trying to make sure he secures. Oh,
I've heard he might be on the move too.
Yeah, I think him and Harbaugh are wits ends, dude. They're done.
No, I think their relationship is good. I think it's more so overhead. I think higher ups they don't really want to cash him out.
You know what I also think? Like, I think they're just tired of having to do a specific game plan for Lamar.
Yeah,
like that. Their playbook is so like having to cater to his.
But you really
play style.
But you really don't have to cater to him like that, right? If you get him some receivers, you can help him out. You guys don't have any receivers, and y'all expecting him to be Tom Brady. Yeah, you have no-name receivers, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, we're gonna just run the ball and pass. Who am I passing it to? My best receiver is Mark Andrews and damn Likely. Like,
well, they've just played Week 18, and the Bengals beat them 27-16. They lost at the beginning of the year. It was a lower scoring game. The thing that would make me nervous for the Bengals is that they get up quick in games and then they try and find ways to let teams come back a little
for
bit.
Sure.
So that would be my only concern. Their defense is playing outstanding this year. So like they're which is crazy because they don't have like any one good like high value player. You know what I mean? They just have
they have what's his name? That started with H. Hendrickson.
Sure.
Hendrickson. Yeah, he's a baller.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're not like huge guys. It's just a bunch of. They're a really good team.
I think it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So that game is going to be interesting just by trade because it's Baltimore and they find a way to be gritty and things like that. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I hope it's the Bengals. I prefer to watch them play football than Lamar Jackson-less Ravens. Yeah. And then the game I think to watch in the AFC, obviously, is going to be the Jags and the Chargers.
Of course.
It's going to be a fun game.
No, it's not.
I think it's going to be fun.
We're going to bust that ass.
Chargers by 10.
We're gonna, but I like that. My family is all Jaguars fans. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna. I'm like, we're gonna bust that ass.
I don't know. I don't think. Okay. I think I picked the Chargers, but I just like. I want to see a good outing from Trevor Lawrence, like a good thing to work forward.
Good luck. You saw he almost gave the Tennessee game away, right? And you're gonna have to. He's gonna have to show up. Can you compete with Justin Herbert? Are you in the same class as him? And I'm telling you right now, if it was
sure Justin Herbert actually shows up. He hasn't. This is his first playoff game.
Listen, that boy got ice in his veins. Don't worry about him. All right,
we'll see.
He gonna throw for 3 tutties. He's gonna throw for 3 tutties. I'm just letting you know that right now. That boy is not gonna play. If it was a cold environment, then I'm like, they're playing in Jacksonville. It's gonna be just fine.
Doesn't that suck though? You're gonna be stuck with Brandon Staley forever because of.
I'm fine with that. I just know he's gonna do bonehead stuff. That's something that we got to deal with, right? But as long as we got that man Herbert back there, and I just don't like that he messed up with Mike Williams. His back all messed up, but Mike Williams gonna show. That's what he do. He have a broken back, and then he comes in the game and they're like, oh damn, he can't catch. Throw it up top.
Is Khalil Mack still out?
I'm not exactly sure.
I can't remember. Is he injured or
no? Bosa was injured.
Bosa was injured, but he's back.
Oh,
Khalil Mack back yet?
Yeah, Duran was played. He played the last one.
Yeah. So they're ready.
We're going to bust ass. Let's go to the NFC. We're going to bust their ass. It's over. We're going to bust their ass.
Okay, it's over. NFC. The number 1 seed, I'll go through matchups after, but the number 1 seed is the Eagles. Obviously, they clinched. They played against the Giants' third-string defense or offense and defense last week. The 49ers are the number 2 seed. Yes. The number 3 seed are the Vikings, 4 seed Bucks, 5th seed Cowboys, Giants are the 6th seed, and the Seattle Seahawks are the 7th seed. I was really, really hoping Seattle would lose because I would have loved to see Green Bay and the Lions playing for a playoff spot. It was Green Bay playing for a playoff spot, and the Lions were like, "We're not. If we can't go, they're not going." So they busted their ass 20-16. Week 18, the Lions aren't going to the playoffs. Neither are the Packers, and Rodgers is already talking about retiring. Like,
how about how wrong we were about predictions? Oh, the Lions are going to suck this year, and they just turned it on. They turned it on.
I don't know what they're gonna do because they didn't even have their number 1 wide receiver for like half the year. Like, have you seen what the pitch count that they've been putting Jameson Williams on? Like, he's only in like 19% of plays, but every time he touches the ball, electric.
Jared Goff looks good.
Yes.
I'm so no for real.
Stop.
No. So
Don't
we're gonna
be like a Rams were years ago and thought, Jared Goff's the guy.
No, I didn't say he's the guy. I said he looks good, right? So since we're talking about 7 seeds, I'm gonna just
29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions,
okay.
4,400 yards,
okay,
65% completion percentage.
The numbers don't lie, and we're gonna roll that right to Geno because Geno broke Russell Wilson's record, right? And everybody talked about Geno's not the guy, blah 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 blah. I don't know if he's the guy, but for him to break the passing record that Russell had. When we thought Russell was just so great, and just to see what Russell is doing now at Denver, I'm happy for Geno. You know, he had a bad stint so far in the NFL. He got punched in the face by a linebacker. He had all this stuff going on. And then, he just threw for 4,000. Do I think that they can compete with the 49ers? Hell no. Because Brock Purdy is the answer. Brock Purdy looking pretty purdy, right? He looking really good up there. And how about Christian McCaffrey looking like he's back at Stanford?
Yeah.
Like Debo getting hurt.
Offensive-minded coach.
Debo getting hurt. It was like, hey, Christian, we need you to get back and get back. He's like, what? I could act like I could back up at Stanford? Yeah, go ahead. He'd be killing him and Ayuk and Kittle.
McCaffrey, I've said it before. McCaffrey, when healthy, is the best running back in the league.
Easily. It's not even a question.
All right, we're picking winners.
It's because
of...
I'm sorry.
49ers.
Because he went to Purdue.
49ers are going to beat Seattle. Geno has thrown 11 interceptions, and he likes to take chances down the field. And sometimes he gets a little too locked on to DK. And he's going to make mistakes, and you can't make mistakes against the number 1 defense. And the 49ers are going to make him pay. So I think 49ers win that game, obviously. And then you got, obviously, I won't talk about this one because I'll let Kenny do it. But the Vikings are playing the Giants. The Giants are going to Minnesota to play them. It was a field goal game last time they played. 61-yard field goal.
It's gonna be a gritty show.
Okay, sure. Okay.
I'm telling you, Daniel Jones, he just played out of his mind this year. Statistically, he looks good. Kirk Cousins sucks. I don't like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
but
the Giants are going to win.
They're not winning, bro. They're not winning.
Right.
Giants are going to win. They have the better defense.
It doesn't matter about the better defense. Wait, huh?
Brian, should I hit him with this real quick?
Go ahead.
I just want to throw these stuff out to you because I know you're going to love it. So I'm going to quickly compare to you the 2007 New York Giants and the 2022 New York Giants. Both of these teams had a bye week in week 9. Both of the teams were 6-2 going into the bye. Both of the teams were 2-2 heading into the playoffs the last 4 weeks of the season. The 2007 Giants had 3,154 passing yards that season. The 2022 Giants had 3,157 passing yards this season. It's eerily familiar. They in points for in 2007 they ranked 14th in the NFL for points scored. This year's Giants 15th in the league in points for. Defensive points against, they rank 17th. This year, 17th. Oh, Kenny, one more thing. Last thing. I promise. Last thing. Kenny, where's the Super Bowl being played this year?
Enlighten me.
I think it's in Arizona, which is where the 2007 Super Bowl was won by the New York Football Giants.
So all that is cool, but I'm going to tell you that all is going to end this week. Like, that's cool that you put the statistics out there.
You know who the Giants didn't have when they played the Minnesota Vikings? Adoree Jackson, who was only giving up 33 yards receiving before he got injured to the wide receivers he was locking up.
And you got Baby Megatron playing.
Who? Us? The Giants? Isaiah Hodgins? Dude's a beast.
Galladay. You saw him catch that TD? He's
going
back,
to the
man.
He's back.
Watch him have a hell of a playoff.
What if he had?
Oh,
what if he snaps? He has like 8 touchdowns.
They're gonna unlock him this week.
He'd be Plaxico Burress.
He might be a healthy scratch. No, I bet you they rotate him in a little bit. He gets like a couple plays.
Yeah, I think it's a good game. I think it'll probably be the game of the week out of the NFC. But I think that the Vikings end up winning. Right? They kind of limped in there. I think they end up winning. So
we'll see. Tampa Bay is gonna beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, easily. Did you not see?
Tom Brady is undefeated against the Dallas Cowboys in his career.
Did you not see how Cowboys looked last week? They they're limping in. Yeah. They're wounded. And you think Tom Brady's not licking his chops? And Mike Evans? You saw how he said about Mike Evans? He said, "Oh, you guys that dropped Mike Evans? I know y'all killing yourself."
Let me just put it this way real quick. It's going to ruin my Super Bowl prediction, but I don't care. If San Francisco gets upset by Seattle, Tom Brady is going to win another Super Bowl. You can mark it down right now. That's the only team that can stop him is San Francisco.
No, they're not going to beat the Eagles. Sorry.
Jalen Hurts is not right, bro. They're going to be one and done. His shoulder is not right. I'm just telling you right now.
Kenny, Super Bowl prediction right now.
Super Bowl prediction? Like the two teams?
Two teams match up right now.
Oh, my AFC team's the Bengals.
Yeah, so San Diego.
Bengals what?
Bengals and Bucks if the 49ers lose. If the 49ers beat Seattle, it's the Bengals and 49ers.
Yeah, I like that. I like that from the NFC.
I can't pick it.
I'm gonna take the Chargers and the 49ers.
Oh, homer pick. We like it.
No, really. I like the Chargers and the Eagles for sure though.
Chargers, Eagles, or Chargers, 49ers?
No, I'm gonna go with Chargers and Eagles.
All right. Who am I gonna pick?
You just listed off several reasons why you should be picking the Giants.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's gonna be Bills 49ers.
I like that too. Any of those matchups is good with me.
I think the Bills have a lot to play for right now, and that even though it's in a neutral site, that's huge. Kansas. I wanted to bring this up when we first had our podcast, but we missed a couple weeks. But Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes has played 9 playoff games. He's never not played in Kansas City. He's either played in Kansas City or played in a Super Bowl at a neutral location. And that will continue this year. He'll either play in a neutral location or the Super Bowl, or he'll play in Kansas City. So that's why I thought it was such a big deal that the Bills got gypped out of the number 1 seed, because I thought that was huge. But I'm still going to pick the Bills because I think they got a little bit more to play for right now, especially with dude, if they're in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs and Damar shows up during their pregame speech, nothing stopping that team from fucking winning the Super Bowl or winning that game. All right. And then I would love the Giants to play the Bills. I think that'd be great. But that's me wishful thinking. We
can't always get what we want. And I think the Chargers are primed to really sneak their way through and make some things happen. And I have the Chargers actually winning the Super Bowl. Which would be weird, because you're like, what? How they started the season throughout making bad calls. It doesn't matter. We're going to win the Super Bowl, and that's what it is. So,
I'd be more on board with that, Kenny, if you didn't have a dumb coach.
Okay. Ryan, final takes.
So the Giants are winning this week. That's it. Giants are winning this week.
Okay. Well, guys, we're gonna save you on Ryan's fantasies because fantasy football is over, right? And none of us won the championship. We're gonna say you won.
I won 3.
Oh, never mind. I didn't win the championship. I didn't win the championship.
I'm also in 9 leagues, so
yeah,
that's a pretty good. Hey, I'd be in the Hall of Fame if I was playing baseball.
Exactly. Hot takes like hotcakes. We had too much to cover. BK bets. You guys need to follow us on Action Sports, or if you guys are in the DraftKings, we have our own pool that me and Brian are very active in.
Oh, I don't get notifications, luckily, but like my wife gets notifications because she's in the group, and she's like, "What is wrong with Brian?" All he does,
live betting is where it's at, man. I'm telling you,
for sure.
You get to gauge how the teams are playing. You'd be like, okay,
I know where I'm going.
I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah, I do that all the time. It's bad. Anyway, you can follow us on there. Okay, then follow us on all the socials: YouTube, subscribe, like, all the socials, Facebook, Instagram. Just show love. I can't even mention all of them. We're there. When you think we are, that's where we're there. We appreciate all the support. We'll catch you guys next week. We'll be here next week. All right. We deprived you guys for a couple of weeks because we wanted you to chant us. 2 Joes, 1 bro, 2 Joes and a bro. And now you guys are chanting our name. So we'll be back here next week. So we love y'all. Peace. Good luck, Chargers. Good luck, Giants. Good luck, Patriots. Get not in there. Peace. We'll see y'all.
Later.